walking and back pain. So, is walking with back pain bad for your spine? And we are also going to talk about some tips which are related to back pain relief, but in respect to with respect to walking. Now, as an executive mom, you're juggling long work hours, endless meetings, and your family responsibilities. You might view walking as your go-to activity for staying fit, and after all, it's a low impact activity, and I mean, it's easy. You don't need any equipment, you don't need to go to the gym for this, and you can fit it into your schedule, whether it's a morning or evening walk, or maybe a lunchtime walk when you are at work. Oh, on Instagram, I just realized I spelled back pain bad for your spine. The bad is spelled misspelled. I spelled it as BD. Anyway, so yeah, so going back, but if you have experienced back pain or an aggravation or increase in your back pain after walking, or you may wonder, can too much walking with back pain be bad for your spine? So, in today's video, we are going to address this particular topic about how much can you walk with back pain and how does it help you, some tips to observe or some tips to follow when you are walking while you have back pain, and how you can make things better so that you don't aggravate your back pain, or you don't have a recurrence of back pain, or you don't start with back pain for that matter. All right, so before we get into the topic for today, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Swati. I'm an executive mom power coach, and I help moms of younger kids who work in high stress executive jobs to manage the spinal, that is back and neck, and nerve pain. And this is despite low energy levels and brain fog or lack of focus. I do so by giving you simple exercises, some easy lifestyle modifications, some tips and tricks that have helped me in my own pain journey. And I do all of this without taking away your valuable time because, hey, we're moms, we're busy people, right? So let's get into the topic for today, which is walking with back pain bad for your spine? And we're going to talk about some tips for back pain relief. Now, I'm not saying that if you have acute back pain, before we get into the topic, I'm not saying that if you have acute back pain, go and take a walk. I am only talking about, say, if you have a chronic back pain, or you've had a back pain in the past and you're not sure if you should go out for a walk, or if you have like a low grade back discomfort and you feel like, oh, walking is my thing, but can I walk now? Then this video is for you. All right, so walking is one of the best exercises for spinal health, really, because it promotes your circulation, strengthens your core and your back muscles, and well, other joints and the muscles in the body too. And it helps you to maintain your joint and spinal mobility. Now, it can also be a form of exercise to give you some relief from your back stiffness. And of course, when you have been sitting at your desk or you've been taking care of your children for that long periods of time in the day, it is a good break in between. So, but can walking actually harm your back or be detrimental to your spinal health? Now, while walking is generally beneficial, we just had a recap of what the benefits are. Excessive or improper walking, I'll come to what I mean by improper. Excessive or improper walking postures, such as leaning forward or, say, slouching while you're walking, can put unnecessary strains on your joints and your spine, and it can often lead to pain and fatigue as well. So, the first thing you can do is, as I said, postural stress. So, if you are one of those who have a poor posture, or you feel that unknowingly or knowingly you tend to slouch a lot, or bend forwards, or poke your head out, or you're slouching in your mid or lower back, then you probably want to address those postural issues or be more mindful of your posture when you're walking. Right. So another thing is you need to be careful of the terrain or the surface that you're walking on. Now, sometimes we just go out for a walk without thinking of the surface you're walking on. Now, for running as well as walking, cemented areas create, so that's like hard cemented walkways, and that's usually what we walk on when we're walking on this pavements, right, on the side of the road. These can have more impact or more stresses on your lower limbs, that is your knee, hip, ankle, and your lower back and pelvic joints, as compared to if you're walking on the, say, in your garden, in your grass, etc. However, if you're walking on very uneven surfaces and your foot has to mold to those uneven surfaces, time in and time out and again during that 5 minutes or that 1 hour walk that you're doing, of course the stresses are going to travel up your back. So I'm not saying don't walk on cemented surfaces, just be mindful that the ground reaction force, I'll explain you what that is. Ground reaction force tends to be higher when you are walking on cemented surface as opposed to a softer surface. The best is if you have a track, a running track around somewhere around you, go for that. That is the best surface to walk on. Now, what do I mean? Of course, not everybody has it, but if you have that facility, go for it. What do you mean? What did I mean by ground reaction force? Whenever we are stepping on the ground, there's an equal and opposite reaction coming from the ground. This was Newton's third law, if you remember your basic physics from school. So there's a reaction force. So suppose I'm stepping on the ground, there is a ground reaction force that comes in, hits the, I mean, it comes and reacts with the, okay. There's a equal and opposite force from your body weight that comes from the ground, and that force travels into your ankle, into your knees, into your hips, and your body sort of absorbs it very well. However, the harder the surface that you walk on, the more the ground reaction force is. However, if you're walking on extra soft surface like slushy ground, say there's been a rain and you're walking in that slushy, muddy kind of a ground, then that can also have less friction with your feet. So that can also feel more stressful. And again, the stresses will travel up your legs into your spine. All right. So that was one. I'm just looking at my notes here. Yeah. So walking on banked surfaces. Now, what usually, if you look at the roads, they have like a slope towards the outside so that the when it rains, the water does not accumulate on the roads, but it sort of tapers down from the side of the road. Now, if you're one of those who are running on the edges of the road because, well, you're not running in the mud, you're not running on the road because there are cars coming or vehicles coming, and you're walking on like the edge of the road, if you're always doing that, there can be a lot of stresses that builds up on your hip, especially your ITB, that is the outside band of muscle from your hip to your knee. And it can cause a lot of stresses up into your hip and spine on that particular side, the foot which is sitting on the bank surface, that particular side. Now, if you have pre-existing spinal conditions like stenosis, disc issues, or even arthritis, it can get worse with prolonged walking. So then what you do, you try and take breaks in between. Now, I'm not telling you to go back home. If you want to take a longer walk, remember the amount that you walk. I mean, this is common sense, but the amount that you walk, you have to come back also, right? So break up your walks into smaller segments. So probably if say I want to do a 500-meter walk, I can go 200 meters and come back and then do another 50 and come back rather than going full 250 and then coming back 250 meters. So do you see how I'm breaking up my walk? I do have the option of ending it at 400 meters because I know that at 500 meters, my back starts to have that niggle of pain and I do not want to go beyond that. All right, so if there are many other things that go into this, however, if you are interested in knowing more details, because otherwise we're going to go over time with this video, I have written a blog on this topic, and in that, I also have a video on understanding your back pain and inflammation. Because, of course, when you walk too much or when you aggravate your back pain, that is directly linked to increasing the inflammation in your back. So you can have a look at that video. It is in the blog. There are lots of other helpful links. There's also a free guide on what is the source of your back pain. So if you're not sure where your back pain is coming from, you can have a look at that guide. Many people have found it helpful. It has or the main symptoms, say you have a disc issue, it has the main symptoms of what you will find when you have a disc problem. Or if you have a stenosis, what will be the main symptoms that you'll find when you have a spinal stenosis, etc. So those are all present in the blog. um, some easy tips to take care of your spinal health while walking: choose supportive footwear. So opt for shoes which have a good arch support if you have flat feet, or cushioning to impact that's to absorb that impact on the spine. Please, please, please observe good postures, avoid poor postures. Again, you'll find more details in that blog of how to improve your posture or how to avoid poor postures. Take breaks, as I said, take a break in between. Maybe if you are walking every day, take a break once a week and then adjust your walking distance according to your tolerance. So that's basically comes to the next step, which is listen to your body. Right? It's a very cliche thing to say, but it is true. Listen to your body and the body will take care of you. Alrighty, if you have any questions, any comments on today's video, do let me know. I'll be happy to help you out. Check out that blog. Oh yeah, I will leave a link to the blog in the description of this video. If you're watching me on Instagram, it's the blog is in my bio. If you're watching in real time, it'll be the first one up in the list. If not, just send me a message and I'll send the blog across to you. Just type in, is walking with back pain bad for your back, or walking back pain, something on those lines, so I know which one you're talking about. And I will see you guys next time. If you have any questions, comments, do drop them below and I'll be happy to address them for you. Alrighty, bye for now.